We're going to talk a little bit about scaling up models, scaling up plans to build flying models. I get asked lots of questions about this and the way I do it. The method I use is probably a little bit unconventional, but it works for me anyway. I do use small drawings, 1/7 set scale drawings, to enlarge plans for model building for flying purposes. But I've got this other method whereby I make a small model beforehand and get all the shapes correct on it, all the plan forms and all the formers and all the rib sections. Everything exactly as I want it for a flying model. And I actually use this in the scaling up process. And it means then that I can use the model throughout the construction of the model. I'll give you an example. This plan, well, it's a tracing really of the fuselage shape, was derived from this model here, together with perhaps a few photographs. And all I did, I know that this model is half the scale of the model I want. So this plan is twice scale. But it goes a little bit further than that, because I can work out, from this model, I can work out former sections as well. Say for example, I need to know the former section at that point there. Okay. So all I do is lay my compasses onto the plan. Okay. And then I know at that point is the area where we need to know the plan form. So what I do, I'll use this tool these are called snakes, and they're wonderful tools. You can actually make one out of thin wire, a flexible wire, but these are cheap enough. You get these from the art and craft supplies, and you can lay this around the model. Just press it around the model like that, and you've literally got the shape of the former. So all you need to do is to trace that round onto cardboard and then scale it up twice with your dividers. You can use all sorts of tools. You can use these calipers if you like to get the width of different areas as well, spacing on engines, tail areas as well. So there's all sorts of potential for scaling up. You do not need a plan to build a model. You can use an ordinary plastic kit if you like. This is an ordinary plastic kit of the Avro Anson. This is 144 scale. And there's enough detail on that to build a flying model. This is a scratch building. This is what they call scratch building. This is building from the ground up. This is not building from a kit. This is not building from anybody's plan. This is building entirely from your own devices, if you like, photographs, models, your love of the subject, which is very important. So all these things are important to get a successful model. And this is the result of a day's work here. The first job I did was to mark out templates for the tailplane and the fin. They've got to be sanded outside. It's a messy business, so I don't do that in the house. I like to do that outside. And I've got here one half of the fuselage as well. And the good thing about a model is you can work out, you can actually mark it out with a pencil. You can put lines on it, and you can measure distances, and you can even use what I call the shadow technique as well. The shadow technique is this. I hope it shows up in the video. You lay a straight edge onto the model. Let's use something which is a bit more opaque than that. You lay a straight edge onto the model, and you can see the shadow underneath. Do that as well. You can pull it along like that. This is a technique I used years ago for carving, where you need to see it's equal either side. And that shadow is combined with your flexible rule. You can determine shapes. There's no CAD involved here. I don't use CAD. I just use my trusty old school compasses. That's all I need. A set square and just a good Mark 1 eyeball. Great believing good Mark 1 eyeballs. You know when something's wrong. So there's the basics of scaling up. It's not difficult. You can acquire this, but experiment. This has taken 50 years to perhaps get a system working like this, but it works for me. And with this system I can build absolutely any model you like. Just have to look at a photograph. If I've got a 3 view, that's an extra bonus. Basically, a good old model like that is all you need for a flying model, and building the models themselves is an enjoyable experience in any way. But if you can't build models, just get a plastic kit, assemble it, no frilly detail, and just spray it grey. It's important to spray it grey because you use the shadow technique and you can draw on it as well. So there you are, there's the basics of scaling up, and I hope you've learned something from that. And please put your questions below and I'll try and answer them the best I can. Okay, thanks for viewing. Bye.